So I'm the principal advocate at Muthomi Mutiga Company Advocates. Over the last year or so, I have trained the entirety of the legal profession, from law students to advocate trainees to advocates and people masters up to the judiciary as a whole. And I've taken the time to not only understand this technology in a way that I can be able to explain it to anybody, especially in the legal field, but also I have taken upon myself to learn this technology and build this technology. I was admitted to the bar last year and I took a very big professional risk. I decided to leave, the law firm life, climbing the ladder, and I decided to start my own practice with the sole aim of building a tech native firm that can be demonstrated as the law firm of the future. And I've been on that goal over the last few months. And today I'm going to share some very, very interesting things that I've been able to build for my firm. And I hope as I demonstrate these tools, be able to get an idea of what is actually possible with the technology we have available today, and not just something that is coming tomorrow or next month. I will actually demonstrate what is actually possible in legal practice, how AI can actually contribute to the practice of law substantially. And without much further ado, let's get into it. This is what we are going to be covering today. So today we'll be looking at 9 specific topics. I will introduce a fictional advocate practicing in Nairobi called Elizabeth Oduya Omondi. We will be exploring how she operates, and she does operate as most of us in our community actually do. And then I will go as we juxtaposition what Elizabeth does with what Muthomi Mutiga Company does. We'll go through a typical morning in Elizabeth's farm, as well as a typical morning in Muthomi Mutiga Company Advocates. We'll go through how these two firms handle client intake and conveyancing. We look at how these both firms juxtaposed handle court hearings and post-hearing processes. We will be looking at exactly how these two firms juxtaposed, one tech-enabled and tech-native, handles billing, which is the soul of the legal practice. And then we will look at the numbers comparing these two. And then we'll explore how you can actually implement these tools and this technology in your firm within 90 days, within 90 minutes. It's that straightforward. And then finally, and most importantly, we will be exploring privacy, ethics, client confidentiality, and the incoming AI bill. So let us begin. So meet Elizabeth. And one associate who assists her in a day-to-day work. She gets at least 20 clients each month. She handles at least 35 hearings each month. She handles approximately 8 conveyancing matters per month. The tools she utilizes are: one, she uses her physical diary to record dates, to record notes, to record anything that she needs to be abreast of. She uses word templates, she uses her WhatsApp, she uses email, and she uses her memory. Now, Elizabeth is an amazing advocate. She's competent in her work. She takes the time in everything she does. Now, the problem comes in that Elizabeth is always busy. She's always doing work. She's always following up emails. She's always trying to figure out what is going on, what deadlines are incoming. And that is what carries most of the effort that that her firm handles, the administrative tasks every single day at midnight. She has no holidays. She's always working. Now, I want to juxtapose this with my firm, Muthomi Mutiga and Company Advocates. We are a technology-fast firm, solo practitioner, 2 staff, and one powerful AI agent. So, from our firm, we built the technology first, native to the firm. We built everything on top of the technological layer. Uh, we ensure that we automate what needs to be automated, repeatable administrative tasks that require little to no judgment. We automate most of that. We ensure that judgment remains with the professionals, so that at the end of the day, the competency, what is expected of a professional, remains. We work systems first, and it's not just about efficiency, it's about leverage. And this is the tech stack that my firm uses. I'm going to open up this so that everybody can see how they can start utilizing this for their practice. Whether you're running a firm by yourself, or whether you're employed and your workload is completely absurd, I'm going to show you exactly how I handle some of these tasks. So the core of the task that the tech stack that Robin uses is cloud cowork. That is the operating layer. Under under the cloud cowork, there is other tools. There is the e-court filing by the judiciary. There is a tool I built that handles retrieval of cases from the Kenya Law website. There is a WhatsApp MCP that allows me to my agent to communicate with not just me but also my clients. We have Gmail, of course. We have Google Calendar. We have Airtable. Airtable is a relational database that you can utilize to not just store your data but also track your records. And then beyond that, there are 4 specific, we call them plugins in Cowork, that enable this entire system to work. There's a litigation manager, there's a conveyancing tracker, there's a revenue manager, and there's a client intake manager. All these handle specific administrative tasks within the confines of my practice. So let's get into it. So it's Monday morning at Elizabeth Oduya and Company Advocates at 7:30 a.m. This is after maybe a Easter weekend or a long weekend. She opens her emails. She finds 47 unread messages. There are no filters. She has no idea what is urgent. And I believe most of us can relate with Elizabeth here. She opens her WhatsApp messages. She has 23 client messages. She has 3 follow-ups she missed last week. She checks e-court. She finds that she has pending filings that she can't fully recall that weren't, filed. She has a physical diary with shorthand notes from the last 2 weeks. She has a to-do list that is scattered. So every morning she takes at least 45 minutes to 1.5 hours to orient herself, to understand where is the firm practicing at, what is going on, what is burning, what deadlines are incoming, and what is in her plate. And I believe most advocates running their firms, even associates within firms, understand this innately. The 1 hour in the morning that you spend trying to figure out what is going on and ensuring that nothing is burning. And you will attest to this, that most firms handle meetings maybe weekly or even daily to just get an understanding of what is going on, so nothing can get lost in the weeds. Now, I want to juxtaposition this with what Robin actually does. So, in Muthomi Mutiga and Company Advocates, at Monday morning at 7:30, I ran a very simple command on my AI agent. Very simple. It says briefing. And from this, I can quickly assess all active matters, deadlines, hearings, follow-ups. Everything that I need will be on my email within 5 minutes. So I know exactly what is burning before I even open my laptop or start reading the emails. And I will demonstrate this right now. Okay. Just a minute. I want to share my co-work. So For those of us who do not know what Cloud Cowork is, um, Cloud is basically a chatbot like any other, like ChatGPT, like Grok, like Gemini. But something happened in the beginning of this year. They released Cloud Code, which is an AI agent that cannot just answer questions but also perform tasks following instructions that you have given it. So it allows the tool to get access to your database, to your email, to all these things, and it works on your computer. And we'll talk about data privacy and confidentiality at the very end, and I will share a document because that is very crucial in any tool that we use today. So I'm going to share my desktop. Okay. So this is Cloud Cowork. This is Cloud Cowork. To access this, you first need a pro account. There is a very crucial reason that you should not use the free tiered AI tools for any client or legal work or legal practice work. They train on your data first of all. Your data is retained for a long time. This, by the mere fact that you're using a free AI tool to perform any legal work, you are actually, uh, you know, not meeting the professional obligations as an advocate, as an associate, as a legal practitioner. So there are other ways that you can go about around this. For instance, using local models that run on your computer without no internet. But we'll get to that in another day. But today, I want you to get acquainted with this user interface. It's very simple. You have to download the app. There's chat, there's Cowork, and there's code. Cowork is where we are going to do the demo today. So I'm going to start with that morning briefing. As Elizabeth is cowering through her emails, through her diary, through her shorthand notes, what Robin does is very simple. He comes here to his allow me. I've pre-done the demos so that we can be able to quickly go through this without extending the time. So I come basically to my platform here and I give it a very simple command: briefing. And from that command, it understands instinctively and intuitively from the commands behind there what it needs to do. So it goes through my Airtable database, which is a very good relational database. If you're using Excel, Airtable is just Excel on steroids. It allows you to do much, much more. So I give it that simple command, and very, very quickly, it usually goes into my email, but for this demonstration, you'll see this. All my team members will get this briefing. It can be scheduled at every day at 7:30. We get this briefing in our emails. Everybody in the team understands what's happening, when, and at what time. So as you can see in the briefing, it gives me a very concrete idea of everything. First, there are overdue items. Don't worry, this is dummy data. This is not actual client data. So you see, it tells me that there's a matters here with high priority to file written submissions for this matter. It tells me to reserve an injunction application on Brian Othiambo. It tells me that I need to file and serve reply to defense for this matter and also file a replying affidavit. It tells me very clearly today you have no hearings and you have no deadlines that are due today. But it tells me tomorrow you have this upcoming, and it tells me all the outstanding tasks that I have due today or overdue, so that immediately I get here, if in less than 2 or 5 minutes, I know exactly what's happening everywhere. I can connect Cloud Cowork to my legal practice management software. I can connect it to my Excel file. I can connect it to Airtable. I can connect it to my email so that it can give me a very comprehensive understanding of what is happening before I even, start opening my emails. So another thing you can do is conflict check. Once you're doing onboarding, my platform can actually, using this AI agent, I can ask it to do a conflict check. I am onboarding a new matter. as to be honest, most firms in Kenya do not carry out this crucial task of conflict check. But with this tool in hand, I can actually conduct a conflict check. And this conflict check does the same thing. It goes through my databases, my legal practice management software. It goes through, it does an online search for the client and a Kenya law search on the client and understands whether there is a conflict with what I am actually with this new client. So again, you can see I ask you to do a conflict check for a client that is already on my database, and it tells me all these matters. It says there are two existing matters that contain that name, and I'll show you the Airtable database. It shows me the phone number when they walked in, the date of first contact. They tell me the notes. They tell me about the matter. They tell me everything. As you can see here, I asked it to skip Kenya law and the internet because I know this is not a real client. But in actual practice, this would go through Kenya law, understand whether my firm has represented that individual or the opposing party in that matter. So I'm very well abreast and very well aware on what or where am I falling behind. It will give me an analysis and a recommendation, and it will log that in my database. I can also open a new matter directly from chat by giving it a very simple command like this. Open matter. I give it James Karaoke, Conveyancing, leasehold flat, LRA that for that amount, and it's brought in by Muthomi Mutiga. And it tells me, good, I have one existing matter like that one in your database. And from the earlier conflict check, the best matching record is that one. So it gives me a summary of that new client that I'm onboarding. And then it asks me, should I open this matter? And opening of the matter is a whole workflow. So it goes and opens this matter, and you can see it opens the matter successfully. Hello. Just to know, are we together?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So this is Airtable. So everything that I have given my my AI, let's call it cloud, on the user interface, it comes and records on my database so that I always know what is going on, and I always know all the matters that I have tracked. So as that loads, I can demonstrate another thing it can do. Once we have opened a new matter, it tells me the next step is to generate an engagement letter for this matter. And yes, I tell it, yes, proceed to draft this any text on the platform, and then I'd go edit. From the very first go, it knows how my engagement letters look like. It knows how my pleadings look like. And very quickly, you can see it generates a letter of engagement. And on top of this, I have given it access to the ARO, so it understands how I should bill, what is the minimum amount I should bill. And for each transaction, it can calculate what the minimum in the ARO can be. And that allows me to quickly be compliant with the advocate remuneration order. And I can also say I'll charge 10% above the ARO just to be competitive. And it does this, drafts it very well. And you can see this follows, it has my firm letterhead, it has everything. And I can just open this in the folder, open this in Word, and very quickly I can edit it, I can sign it, and I can have it going out to my client. So this is very, very, very useful for an onboarding that takes less than 5 minutes. I mean, there's a study that says that most law firms take at least 4 days to respond to a client inquiry, which means they lose their client before they even start. With me, I can generate the invoice very quickly, I can generate the engagement letter, and I have a record of all this data. So this is Elizabeth Oduya now. On Tuesday morning, James Karaoke walks into the office. He wants a leasehold flat in Kileleshwa at 8.2 million, and they have been referred by a former client. So Elizabeth needs to pull up the intake form, same Word document. Of course, most of us have the templates. She searches by paper or whatever method she has to understand whether there is conflict. She checks her WhatsApp. She relies on memory, whether she remembers this client or has acted to somebody close to this client, especially if it's a matter that is contentious. She sends email 3 hours later, and James is still waiting. She has no activity log, and by the time she sends the engagement letter, James has already googled two other advocates. So the first impression here is not the best. She's taken at least 3 hours to actually onboard this client, while an AI powered firm like mine takes 5 minutes to do that, and we do not lose that client because of any delay. So most clients do not complain. They won't tell you that your onboarding process is slow. They just won't come back. They will not refer you. And that's the silent killer in any law firm. So as I've demonstrated, uh, in my firm, it would be a simple command. Again, new client, they are able to capture the details. I can just do a conflict check command, and I can very quickly do a conflict check from not just my database but also online. I can quickly open a matter and have the matter given a specific file reference from the way I reference my matters. I can draft an engagement letter, and very quickly using this command, I haven't demonstrated it, but using this command and through the tool that I have given access to my WhatsApp, it can very quickly send that engagement letter with a welcome message from my office, all done in under 5 minutes. So how fast you're able to onboard your clients tells the clients about everything or how your firm runs, and this will also impact how your relationship with this client will be from then henceforth. Let's look at another example, conveyancing. So on Wednesday, a client, uh, now she needs to track this conveyancing from the client who just walked in. So how does she go about it? She, of course, has rough notes. She has files. She has an email and WhatsApp, and she needs to keep track of what's going on. Most of you who practice conveyancing will agree with me that the problem is with conveyancing is not the complexity of the transaction, but rather the correct or the proper tracking of the days, of the milestones, of the 90-day completion dates, which will make or break the transaction. So for her, she has to, she has 5 ongoing matters. She has no clear understanding of where each matter is, what deadlines are coming, whether the 90 days is coming close or what is behind. When you come to my firm, the story will be very different. So again, I'll demonstrate. I'll come again here to COAC, very simply. So from COAC, I'll be able to do a lot of things. Let me demonstrate. So, and I've told it to use dummy data. So it goes, creates dummy data. If this was an actual new conveyance matter, what would actually happen is it would pop up and ask me questions about the seller, about the buyer, about the property, about the tenure, everything, so that it can get a good understanding. From that, it will record all these details to my database about this new conveyance. Another crucial thing it will do, it will list all the milestones with dates that I need to be abreast of. So it understands that I've started the instruction today at 7th April 2026. The official search should be done by 14th of May. The NLC consent done by that day, and by completion should be done by 26th of June. So it tracks the milestone schedule. And it goes a step further. It goes to my calendar and adds all these details. So that, and with reminders, of course, so that when I go to my Google Calendar, I can just very quickly see on 22nd May, I supposed to have stamp duty clearance. On this day, on 6th June, I need to have my transfer documents. And this allows me to be able to understand where each conveyancing matter is going and how it's going. On top of that, it will even go a further step and draft a sample sale agreement from the details that it has gathered. So very quickly, it will from my templates, using my formatting rules, using my specific templates and all the data it has acquired from what I've given it, it will generate a sale agreement. You see, 11 pages. Now this will be the first draft I go through. I just go through it, make changes, improve on where I think it's not, but within a few minutes I already have a sale agreement on my hands, and that it removes the need for me to go looking for templates and editing, forgetting that this is a gentleman and not a lady, and all those minor mistakes you can find in drafting of a sale agreement. This is a standard document and it drafts it. Beyond that, under conveyancing, still I have trained Cloud through very strict set of instructions, and with having it understand what the regulations actually require, it can actually draft conveyancing documents, the statutory forms from the Land Registration General Regulations. So as you see very quickly here, I just ask it draft a conveyance doc. Again, I told it to use dummy data, and I told it to do an LRA 33 with 2 companies and 2 individuals, so that we can see whether it understands the difference of the execution part of this statutory form. So it can draft an LRA 33, it can draft an LRA 63, it can draft the official search, it can draft so many other documents, LRA 45, 42. So I've been able to train it on all this. And as you can see, this is exactly how the statutory document should look like. It has all the details very well recorded. As you can see here, there's Greenfield Properties, which is a company, and here it requires the director and the secretary to sign, or two directors. Here again, another company, Nexus Reality Company. Again, you can see now that there is an individuals, James Karaoke Mwangi and Grace Wanjiko Njoroge, and it quickly drafts this LRA form. It can also do the LRA 63. Let me just show you very quickly. So it's the same thing. It understands the structure of all these statutory documents. These are statutory documents. I believe nobody went through 7, 8, 9 years of law school to draft statutory documents like this, that just filling a form, you can have AI do that for you. And very quickly you can see this is a statutory, this is a LRA 63 for leasehold. Yes. So again, this is the difference between these 2 practice areas. As you can see here, I can just start a new conveyance. There are other commands I haven't shown you, but I can very quickly just ask a command to tell me all the ongoing matters and all their status, where they are, and on each milestone. Once I clear a milestone and indicate to the AI or Cloud that I have cleared a milestone, it does workflows. For instance, if it's the official search milestone, it will draft the official search. If it's the transfer milestone, it will draft the LRA 33, and on each milestone, the client will be updated at that point, so that they understand at what point is their transaction going, and they can have a clear picture of what's happening when and where. So another area of law that I can have AI assist me, especially in the administrative task. So it's Tuesday at Malimani Commercial Courts. Elizabeth Oduya and Company Advocates is attending court for Westgate Holdings versus Baraka Logistics. There is a 3.45 million debt recovery. The documents should be stated there. She's waited for 2 hours on the cause list, whether physically or online. During the court hearing, she scribbles directions on her notebook or makes a mental note on her dates. She has another matter in Ruiru. She has to attend that either online or physically. So There is that confusion already. She has to do a client update on WhatsApp. If there are 3 clients, she has to do all those updates, and you find the post hearing process takes a lot of time. It takes maybe a whole morning or the whole afternoon just to follow up on what actually happened in court. Were there documents that the court asked us to draft? Were there things that we are told to serve? Are there dates and deadlines that are set? And the thing here is not that she's disorganized. No, she is running a system that is designed to run one matter at a time. As the farm scales, it becomes impossible to scale without additional capacity, without being able to, you know, leverage any other person. So beyond her, the farm cannot grow. And this is where, with tools like this, we can actually be able to utilize our expertise to the best of the ability. So the thing here is the post admin work takes, the post hearing administration work takes a lot of time. But this is how we do it at Muthomi Mutiga Company Advocates. So we've attended court. We have maybe the notes we drafted. We have a transcription tool like the one I use, Tactic. We can transcribe the meeting, and very simple. Again, I go to Cloud. I go to Cloud. I give it a very simple command. It understands from all the training data and all the files that it has at the back of the head. It understands what it's supposed to do. So I gave it this command: process hearing. So the hearing processor is loaded, and it reads the documents behind there, and it understands what it needs. So it asked me to attach a transcript or notes. So I have this is just a dummy hearing I also created so that for the purpose of demonstration, I pasted it. Once I posted it, because these transcription tools have issues with names and all that, it will confirm all the names, all the details that it has read. Is the court name and station correct? The one I read was this. Is this the case number? Is this the case name? Is this the hearing date? It goes to confirm the judge, our client, opposing party, our counsel. All these details, it needs to ensure that it has the correct information before it goes to do anything. So step 2 here, it will go to Airtable, capture all these details and have them updated to my database so that everything that is going on, of course, is tracked. So the court gave these directions: a plaintiff to file and serve an affidavit of service confirming service to the plaintiff on the defendant. Plaintiff to file and serve a list of documents and supplementary witness statement. So all these things have been given days: 7 days, 14 days, and the priority can be seen there. Now it records all these details of the court hearing or the court directions, all of them on my Airtable base. On top of that, it goes to my Google Calendar. All these dates with their priority are added to my Google Calendar, my law firm Google Calendar. So I'm aware of any deadlines that are coming. I'm given 2 days reminders on everything that is going on my farm. And that is exactly what I demonstrated at the very beginning, the briefing. All this is what will inform that briefing. So beyond that, it of course adds this matter to Airtable, and then it drafts a client update email so that the client can also understand what happened in court today. So this is usually added to my email drafts so that I can just go there, read, edit, and send. Very quickly, within 5 minutes, you have all this done. Now, beyond that, the court gave us directions to draft court documents and file them at a very specific date. As I demonstrated in the conveyancing plugin, I've also trained it to draft various types of documents. Of course, following the strict rules and regulations that I've set for it so that it can understand what is expected of it. So here is a demand letter, for instance. I believe most of you have tried to draft with ChatGPT or Gemini or any AI tool. Even if you go to a cloud and go directly to chat, you ask it to draft a demand letter, it will give you a generic demand letter. It won't understand your farm. It doesn't know your farm. It doesn't know your letterhead looks like what. Doesn't know how you structure your details, how your pleadings are drafted, what font do you use for your pleadings vis-a-vis your correspondence. And this is exactly what the power of co-work comes in. Now you see, this is a demand letter. Very clear, very straightforward. Uh, it is, of course, we have different ways of writing our letters. You can be able to improve upon that. If you need to add quotes or improve, your the way you write to your specifications, that is completely capable. Again, from test data, I ask it, draft a plaint. Let's see how well it does. And the beauty of this is it's not that it's not a microwave solution. It gets you 90% there. The judgment remains with the advocate. Always. So I'll always have this first draft. I can review it, understand where it went wrong. My judgment is always going to be needed in these instances, but it understands the structure. It understands the civil procedure rules and the regulations. The Civil Procedure Code and the Civil Procedure Act. So as you can see, this is a full plaint with a verifying affidavit and with a list of witnesses and a list of documents. So a very comprehensive document. Beyond that, because of time, I'll show you very quickly. It can do a notice of motion again and a certificate of urgency. And there are so many other documents it can draft. It can draft a plaint. It can draft a defense and a counterclaim. So this is the notice of motion and a certificate of urgency. Again, following my firm's directions, the notice of motion goes there with the grounds and the orders requested for this note, which is very crucial, order 51, the supporting affidavit. Yes, and you have a comprehensive document in a matter of a minute or two. Beyond that, of course, hearing notices and affidavits of service, it can also. The affidavit of service, it has variables. If I'm the advocate drafting the affidavit of service, it has a specific way. If I'm using a process server, it has a specific way. If I'm using WhatsApp or physical or email, the affidavit of service will respond according to the type of document I am drafting. So as you can see, this is the hearing notice, and this is the affidavit of service. So very quickly, this takes me 8 minutes, whereas it takes 2 to 4 hours in any typical firm. And now this is where we start seeing leverage. This is where we start to see how we can supercharge our efforts, how we can operate at 100% capacity, how we can not just be drafters of documents, but reviewers of these documents, reviewers of strategy, reviewers of actually the client needs. So, fee notes, very, very key. This is the heart and soul of any practice. If you do not collect your fee notes, your firm will not survive. And for Elizabeth, she collects at least 35 notes a month. And she only collects up to 40 to 50% of what she bills, which is a very, very relatable thing for most firms. We do not collect everything of the professional fees we earn. So I created a tool so that we can be able, and I'll show you right now. So for Elizabeth's case, she'll use the fee note on Word and draft one by one, 20 to 30 minutes each, according to how fast she can draft. She has no unified record of what's paid, partly paid, or unpaid. She has late clients who she chases, WhatsApp. There's that awkwardness of chasing money. There is disbursements that go unbilled, and she takes half a day to reconciliate what she has made at the end of the month, and you find she loses 25 to 50,000, and that disappears per fee note. So around 500,000 disappears. Revenue is leaking at 5 to 10%. So what happens in a tech-enabled firm? Again, very simple commands. It understands the workflows, and the thing here I want to demonstrate is most of the work we do within the confines of a legal firm is repeatable. There is custom work that requires, yes, indeed, there is custom work that requires the insight, the judgment, and the competence of an advocate, but majority of the key and most crucial part of our practice areas is actually repeatable administrative work. And the only thing that is separating you from being able to automate and having this run in the back end and leverage AI as a tool is you actually sitting down and listing down your workflow. After this is how I onboard a client. They walk in, they fill this form, their engagement letter is sent, an invoice is sent, all that workflow. If you can be able to map it out clearly, you can be able to leverage these tools very, very well. Again, I'll show you the very simple commands we do, and this is the last demo. So the thing about the billing manager, it is connected to the M-Pesa API. So that means a few things, very, very powerful things. Number one, once each payment is made, it is directly recorded on Airtable without me needing to chase my M-Pesa statements. Number two, I can raise fee notes and directly have a pop-up. You know the pop-up you have when you're paying for M-Pesa? I can raise that. I can track every payment, when it was done, when it is due. All that because we leverage on the platforms that we already have. So again, a simple demonstration again with demo data. I ask it a simple command: generate an invoice using the dummy data. Don't use Airtable because it will have to add that dummy data to Airtable, and I don't want to do that. So it generates an invoice, again following the rules, following the templates that my firm uses, following every direction that I've given it. And beyond that, I can run other commands. For instance, I can run the outstanding command, which tells me exactly what is going on, or what fees are outstanding, and it gives me a clear picture. So this is the invoice generated. Very simple invoice. Again, the professional fees are calculated using the ARO automatically, because it has all those schedules at the back end. So I can run other commands. I can issue that command and run outstanding, so that I can be able to understand what fees have not been collected. And I'll show you other commands here. Very quickly. So I'll go here to plugins. There are a few plugins I'm using here. There is the Kenya billing. So there is a follow-up which can allow me to automatically follow up on fees. We have an automated fee or rather unpaid dues follow-up that does a weekly review of all the fees in default. It sends a reminder to the client and asks them to follow up. This allows me to ensure what is collected, that the system is collecting these invoices without me needing to be in the picture. So all the fees that are owed to my firm can be collected through WhatsApp, through email, and that can be automated. Again, it can generate an invoice, it can see outstanding, it can record payment. If maybe the payment was done manually without the M-Pesa, you can record that payment directly, and you can also request payments, as I said. So this live demo today should give you a clear understanding of how we can utilize leverage. I understand that last year, for those of us who attended to the webinars that I organized last year, they were able to clearly see, I was able to demonstrate that AI agents are what is coming next, are what we should be learning, and are what we should be thinking about how to utilize and embed them in our practice areas. And I can truly say, without a doubt, that we are at that point in time. So let's compare these two firms, the actual numbers, especially the time. So for instance, client intake takes Elizabeth Odui and Co 90 minutes. It takes Muthomi Mutiga 5 minutes. Post-hearing admin takes 2 hours. For my firm, it takes 8 minutes. Opening a conveyancing file will take approximately an hour. For me, it takes 3 minutes. Drafting a code document will take a minimum of 1 hour to 1.5 hours. For me, it takes 3 minutes. Of course, at the first to get the first draft. Uh, the monthly hours on admin, Elizabeth spends at least 95 hours specifically running admins, drafting documents, following up, raising fee notes. Well, my firm takes less than 8 hours a month. Elizabeth Oduya and Company collects 40 to 50% of the fee of the professional fees that they earn. Well, a firm with an automated bill collector will collect up to 85% of the bills owed. And you can see now the numbers here are stuck, very different. And this is where true leverage comes in. And there's something I've always said, but now I believe more than ever before that AI will not replace lawyers. Lawyers who use AI will replace lawyers who do not. And I believe this so innately because I'm actually seeing it in practice. I can actually see the difference right now. And the time to leverage these tools is today. The time to start learning about these tools is today. I want to challenge the young practitioners here, whether you're in Kenya School of Law, whether you're a junior associate, or whether you are undergoing your pupillage. I believe this is the right time that you start learning how to utilize artificial intelligence. Understand the tools, understand their weaknesses and their setbacks, but also understand that this is the worst this technology will ever be. And from that, it is continually improving. Actually, and I don't want to get theoretical, but we are getting to a point where these tools are recursively self-improving. They're improving themselves in code because, for instance, if it drafts an engagement letter and it doesn't meet a specific standard, I'll just specifically tell it next time that you draft it, do it this way. If it use Garamond, I'll tell it use Arial, use Times New Romans, and it learns over time. And this also goes to the kind of knowledge that is knowledge management within the firm. Once an associate leaves a firm, they leave with all their information, they leave with all their templates. But with a tool like this that has worked within the firm, it continually grows as the firm grows. And that is where true leverage comes in. I made a very controversial video on TikTok where I talked about how the law firm of the future will not the grandness or the dominance of a law firm will not be defined by the number of advocates working there, but how much they can leverage the advocates there already. Are they doing repeatable administrative works that could be done by a tool like this, or are they actually contributing? I believe with a firm of five associates or advocates running 100 AI agents, there is not a single transaction on this planet that you cannot run because of operational incapacity. And AI is the leverage. Aristotle once said that give me a lever and a stick long enough, give me leverage and a stick long enough, and I can move the world. This is the leverage that you can start utilizing today in your firm, ladies and gentlemen. So, how can you start implementing this in your firm today? How can you start implementing this in your firm today? So the beauty of having these plugins in CoWork is that I can, within 90 minutes, install this platform from my cloud code or cloud CoWork, and you can have this running on your machine in less than 90 minutes. So whether it's the client intake manager, whether it's the litigation manager that does the post-hearing and the drafting, whether it's the conveyancing cycle tracker, whether it's the law firm revenue manager, you can have this running for you on Cloud CoWork today in the evening. Of course, tailored to your firm letterhead, tailored to the kind of drafting way that you do, and you can continually update it from there. And that is why, for this sole purpose, I will be offering 5 free consultations in this week for the first 5 people who are going to type their email address on the chat. The first 5 people to type their email address on chat will get a 30-minute free consultation for you and your firm, your workflows. We will map exactly what AI does for your specific practice area and what it would cost to set up. So if you're interested in this, just 5, please. 5. Okay, okay, I'm seeing the shots coming in. Um, oh, okay, okay. So I'll pick the first 5 that come in. Okay, everyone has given their email. So, so we'll start with Owen Siwolo, Helga Were, Ashley Muigai, Wanzu. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just sorry, let me mute you once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to Hesbon Mithamo. Let me take note of this. Okay, okay. Let me just increase this to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up to Eric Orende. The rest, I apologize, but you can actually just reach out to me. We are in the same group. You have my email address, or if you don't, I can always share that. Let me take note of this. Oh, sorry. So I'll just note that on my notepad. Okay, okay. So I'll do 10 for 30 minutes each over the coming week. We will explore how you can start utilizing this for your farm. You'll, of course, we have different practice areas. So you will be, if I've captured your email address, you'll be receiving a cal.com invite where you will book the specific date and time that you find most favorable, and we will organize that together. So as we conclude, I see we're just 5 minutes off. So let me quickly go through the legal obligations that come and apply to the firm, and if I've not shared this document, I created an 8-page document that tells you about compliance and using AI tools. I also wrote a LinkedIn article on whether using AI and sharing your client data is actually beats client confidentiality. And because of time, I won't go very deeply. I think time has just skipped me, but I want to demonstrate something very quickly here. So there's a difference between Gmail and using cloud for work. And trust me, using cloud for work is actually more safe than using WhatsApp, Gmail, or Drive. So for instance, if it's AI training on your data, Gmail, WhatsApp, Google Drive, they do by default. If you're using cloud, it's prohibited by contract. You enter into an agreement with cloud that on what you will share your data, what they'll use your data with, how the data will be used, and all these come according to the Data Protection Act. They require you to sign a DPA. So on the data processing agreement, Gmail does not give you that, but cloud does. Encryption of the data in transit as it moves from through the cloud, through the internet. Cloud uses TLS and SOC 2 for the encryption of the data as it moves from your device. You can actually have configurable data retention. For Gmail, the data will be retained always, but for Cloud Cowork, that data will not be retained. If you're using enterprise, if you're using manual, you will. If you're using team, you'll have to actually remove the data yourself. So this is very, very important because it tells you what your data and how your data will be used. So I'll share an 8-page document. If you're concerned about privacy and client confidentiality, as you should be, I'll share that and you'll get a clear understanding of what tools are safe and which tools are not. If you want to have a discussion, you have a very, let's say, sensitive practice area and you do not want to even risk sharing any information, you can also talk to me. I can help your firm install a local model that runs either on your phones or within the firm's laptops, and that data will always exist there with or without internet. And as I also conclude, let me say this: I do a lot of trainings. Whether you want individual training on learning these tools, whether your firm is needs the competence, because let's not kid ourselves, if you're not using your AI yourself, your competitor is using it or your colleague is using it. So it's best to understand these tools. What are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, and how should you leverage it? So if you want that kind of either in-person, person-to-person training, or you need a firm or institutional training, I also offer that. I have trained the Kenya School of Law, the L.O.C.E. I've also trained the Judges Colloquium from the High Court all the way to the Supreme Court. So I really do understand what I'm talking about. So uh, let me conclude there so that I can invite questions. I see time is over again. For those 10, we will schedule the consultation and we'll explore this with you. This has been recording all through, so this will be shared on YouTube, and you can reflect upon it. If you want to share with a colleague, this will be shared to your WhatsApp. If you're still not in the WhatsApp group, please do let me just share the link once more. This is where we have all the announcements. This is where we have conversations that actually affect our practice runs. And okay, I'm having an issue sharing the link, but it will be shared on your, if you have attended, you'll receive the link on your email address. Again, on your email you'll receive a form to share your feedback on this session. Please, if you found it insightful, just take the time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, I'm being told you can't hear me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello, my apologies. I just dropped off the call. I was just concluding. Um, I was talking about if you need training, peer-to-peer training, individual training, please reach out. If you require training for your farm, also please do reach out. I help you and your farm get competent about this new technology. So I see time is not with us. Please, if you have any question and if you typed it in the chat, I actually lost it. Just feel free to ask and I will respond with the time we have left. So yeah, you can maybe raise your hand if you have a question. Any questions? Or my email address? My email address is robinmutiga@gmail.com. I've typed it into the chat. My phone number is 0799 157 696. Also in the chat. So if you want to reach out, you can reach me through that. Or you can reach me through LinkedIn or TikTok or WhatsApp. Okay, it seems there are no other questions. With that, let me conclude the meeting there. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you've learned something. I hope I've been able to demonstrate how you can start leveraging these tools to actually improve your practice. I hope that you have not left the way you joined, and that today you've actually carried something with you that you can utilize in your practice today. So with that, thank you for joining and have a lovely, lovely afternoon ahead. Thank you. You can leave at your leisure.